Okay, so namaste everyone. Welcome to the event on International Yoga Day. So to start with, I'll just talk about what is yoga to start with. To let us understand what is yoga, and then move on to what is International Day of Yoga. Why are we celebrating this? And then we will move on to the various sessions we have publicized in the flyer. To start with yoga, it's the Sanskrit root word is yuj, which means union. And when we say union, it means we are talking about the union of the individual to the whole existence. So this can be understood at different levels: physical, mental, and spiritual level. So I'll move on from physical to spiritual and try to understand this union. What are we talking about, this union? And this is more like the philosophy of yoga. And if I start with physical level, so if you think about the physical matter present on the planet, it is getting recycled over and over again. So that way we are connected. So if you think about plants being the food for herbivorous animals, and then to the carnivorous animals, they get decomposed and become the food for plants. So everybody is related in this way in the physical aspect of this planet. And so this is where we talk about the union of the physical aspect. And then if you think about the evolution also, so the only thing that is different from the starting point of the evolution to the end point of the evolution, which is the human beings, is nothing but the complexity. Otherwise, fundamental aspect is very similar. So this is how we can understand union at physical level. And then if you go on to the mental level, there is a nice cartoon that talks about. So in terms of thinking also, everybody or every living being on the planet is thinking in the same way at fundamental level. So if you are hungry, you think about food. Again, the complexity is different. So you have many options. The human beings tend to think about various kinds of food, but dog can think about only dog food. And if you think about even other instances also wherein not only food, if you can think about the survival also. If somebody is trying to attack you, you will try to defend. That's the natural instinct. So at thinking level also, you can think about the connection and the union of all the living beings on the planet. And at spiritual level, and this is what the yoga philosophy is aiming at, and the goal of the yoga is to actually identify understand the union of the individual consciousness to the consciousness called as universal consciousness. So at these levels, if you understand union, then you might be having a question that, so what are you talking about the union? Yoga, I understand, is touching your knee with your nose. That's how people understand, which is the physical aspect of yoga. So that's when we talk about the practices of yoga. So yoga has two aspects to it. One is the philosophy, which I talked about, and then we come to the practices part of it, which will help us to realize the philosophy of yoga. So the practice part of it is called Ashtanga Yoga. In English, we can translate it as 8 limbs of yoga given by sage Patanjali. These are the first 4 parts which I will talk about in the first slide. They are Yama, Niyama, Asana, and Pranayama. So the Yama refers to the ethical behavior, and that's why we have this non-violence, truthfulness, etc. So, and the next stage is Niyama, which is related to the discipline. So that's why we have cleanliness, contentment, austerity, and then there is an aspect of understanding about yoga and the knowledge part of it also. That's done by studying the scriptures. And then comes the next stage, which is asana, which is what people widely know about yoga as, which is about the postures and the physical aspect of it, physical exercise part of it. And then comes the next stage, that is pranayama, which talks about the breathing exercises. These are the first 4 stages of 8 limbs of yoga. Moving on to the 5th stage, which is, I think, is the most critical and important stage of being a yogi, is pratyahara, which talks about the detachment from our senses and relieving from the distractions. This is the most difficult aspect, and this will lead to the next really important stages like dharana, which talks about focusing on a single point or a single agenda, whatever you can think of, and then comes the dhyana part, which is the meditation aspect of yoga, where we will be we thoughtless basically. So in dharana, we are concentrating at a single point, and the dhyana stage, we are thoughtless. And then comes the final stage of samadhi, and this is what yoga practice as well as philosophy is talking about. The final stage, which is nothing but the union of the individual consciousness to the universal consciousness, which is called as transcendence and state of ecstasy. So this is the practice part of it. So so now we briefly understood what is yoga in terms of philosophy as well as the practice. Now we need to understand why are we celebrating this International Yoga Day. Before we do that, what is International Yoga Day? The question we need to answer. So International Yoga Day was proposed by Government of India, and so it was declared by United Nations in 2014 that June 21st every year will be considered as International Yoga Day. It is approved by around 177 countries, and there is a specific astronomical significance in choosing this date. So June 21st is the summer solstice, everybody knows it. And it is the longest day in at least in the northern hemisphere. And another important thing about the June 21st is it is kind of talking about the Uttarayana to Dakshinayana movement, which means the movement of sun changing from north to south. So there are two important aspects we need to understand. One is day being longer, and second thing is the change of direction of sun's movement. So you must be thinking, oh, you must be a fool. You're saying sun is moving. So no, sun is stationary. We know that. But if you go back to thousands of years ago, so when Indian sages thought about astronomical significance of all these things, so the only reference point they have to is to think about from the reference of the Earth. If you see from the reference frame of the Earth, it looks like sun is moving, right? So that's where they started with. So they have identified that on June 21st, this phenomenal event of sun changing the direction is happening. And the significance of this in terms of yoga philosophy is we need to change our direction of thinking and the way we are living and incorporate into our lives. And the importance of day being longer is we have the natural support for awakening. So if you think about it, just think about it. If you have sunlight, you will tend to be awake. Once after the dusk, you will go back to sleep. So if you think about physically also, you tend to work more. You try to stay awake during the day, and the longest day is providing you this aspect. And we can actually extrapolate the same thing to the mental and spiritual aspect. This is what studied by old Indian sages, and they have identified this as a very important day. That's why we are celebrating International Day of Yoga. But the specific theme for 2019 Indian International Day of Yoga is Yoga for Climate Change. And there was a nice panel discussion done in the United Nations during that meeting, and here is the link for that. So actually, this is the link for Hindu Yuva Purdue link. If you go to the resources, you will find the panel discussion. They discussed about how yoga as a philosophy as well as practice can help yoga for climate action. I will ask you to think about and go back to one of the slides I have presented, which talks about Yama and Niyama again. So we talked about non-violence and contentment. If you try to relate these two for yoga for climate change, if you can think about it, non-violence. Violence is one of the aspects that is leading to what do you call the climate change. And another aspect to it is uncontrollable consumption of whatever we want to consume is leading to the adverse effects of the climate again. So these two are one of the important practices given by yoga that can be incorporated into our lives, and that's the reason why we have chose yoga for climate action as one of the important themes of International Day of Yoga 2019. With that, I will introduce you to what are we trying to do in this session. We have
a question. How violence is triggering climate change?
We can talk about that after the sessions. Yes, definitely. So there are going to be 4 sessions. First session we'll talk about Upayoga. Dr. Vidyani Suradeva from Isha Foundation will talk about Upayoga, and she will give us some demonstrations also, as well as some kind of practices we can go back and do at our home. And then second session is about Power of Breath by Michelle. She's from Sky at Purdue, and she will talk about the breathing exercises. And then third session will be about Sahaja meditation by Vivek Raghuram. He will talk about some meditation techniques, and then finally by Professor Amit Verma, he will be talking about Jnana Yoga, so which is the important aspect of knowledge in yoga. So these 4 sessions will give you a glimpses or kind of practices you can go back and practice at your home. With that, I'll give it to Upayoga team. So you can note down these contacts and contact them. Basically, these are the contacts for Sky Purdue and Hindu Yoga Purdue. We will have regular sessions of yoga on campus. So please feel free to contact us.
Namaskaram everyone. I'm Vidyani, a volunteer on behalf of the Isha Foundation. So we're here to offer a free small Upayoga session on the occasion of International Yoga Day being organized by the Hindu Yuva Seva here at Purdue University. And as Tapasvi mentioned earlier, 2015, the United Nations General Assembly unanimously declared it as International Day of Yoga. And since then, over the last 4 years, Isha Foundation has been taking monumental steps to bring to life this day to offer yoga to people of all ages. And I see a diverse group here and people from all social backgrounds and all cultures to experience the meditativeness and also to expand the perception from individuality to universality. So now we'll hear in Sadhguru's words why it's important to bring to everyone on this planet the International Day of Yoga.
Today, nearly 2 billion people on the planet are doing some form of yoga. I'm not happy with that. I want the 7.2 billion people to do some form of yoga because in the last 100 years, we have looked at the planet apart, but we are nowhere near well-being. If human well-being has to happen, the only way is one has to turn inward. There is really no other way. Because pain and pleasure happens from within you. Joy and misery happens from within you. The very light and darkness happens within you. The only space where you generate experience is within. If you don't turn inward, fixing your well-being on this planet is out of question. Today, we have the necessary resource, capability, and technology to address every human problem on the planet. Never before was this possible. The only thing that's missing is an inclusive consciousness of human beings. And this is what yoga can do beyond religion, beyond belief systems, beyond caste, creed, race, nationality. People can experience a deep sense of unity within themselves, which is what the world needs. This is a momentous step that humanity is taking. It is time the world turns inward for their well-being, not up, not out, in. In is the only way out. If you want well-being, in is the only way out.
Today, it's my privilege to offer to you a simple set of practices designed by Sadhguru to stability and balance to the body. And as we have mentioned earlier, this is a yoga for success session. And these simple set of practices which bring stability and balance to the body are the basis for the success in life or anything that we do in any aspect of our life. And Upa Yoga is basically sub yoga, which means these are simple processes. Though they're very simple, they're very powerful processes. And we can do them at any time of the day and anywhere. Even if we are at work, we can do these practices because designed in such a way such that we can do it put it in our day-to-day life. And though they're simple, they might seem challenging at first, but don't get worried about it because the body gets better with use. The more you do it, the more easy it becomes for the body to do it, and you will be able to derive the benefits more often. And you don't have to remember everything, all the instructions carefully, because in case you're just focusing on the video, you can do that without having to take any notes, because these are all available on the ishasadguru.usa.org website or through the Sadhguru's app. And so this session will be conducted using a video. So you can observe the video carefully and you don't have to do it at this time. They will be demonstrating all the set of practices. Due to interest of time, we are doing only a small session today, but later we can talk about more sessions. And later you can do the practices when prompted to do so. Please don't miss your time.
To be successful in the world, two fundamental qualities are that you must be able to harness the prowess of your mind and your body. If you want to harness the mind, one most important quality is you must know how to be equanimous. Equanimity gives you access to different dimensions of your mind. If there is no equanimity in a skewed sense of mind, your ability to use the mind is greatly reduced. Another dimension is on the level of your energy, both physiologically and internally. You must be exuberant. Only when your energies are exuberant within you, you have the ability to tide over various obstacles that one may face in day-to-day activity towards one's success. If these two dimensions are brought into your mind and your body, that you're equanimous and you're exuberant, success will come to you much more easily. But beyond this, to be successful, one needs insight, inspiration, and integrity. Insight means you pay attention to life around you in such a way that you are able to see something that most people cannot see. Another dimension is to be constantly be inspired. So it's very important, the reason why you're doing what you're doing. To look at the larger dimension of the contribution that you're making through your simple act of whatever you may be doing in your life. Every action that every human being performs in their life is a contribution to some dimension of this world. Somebody is benefited by whatever you may be doing. So being conscious of the contribution that you're making will keep you constantly inspired. And integrity is very important because when you want to function in this world, how much trust you have generated with all the people that you deal with on a daily basis will determine how easy or how hard your daily efforts are going to be. If there is an atmosphere of trustfulness, your ability to work will be greatly enhanced simply because everybody will pave the way for you rather than setting up impediments for you. Yoga for success, the neck practices. Both the neurological and the energy systems branch out in a big way between the shoulder blades and above. So keeping the neck region in a good condition is very important. within 3-4 minutes of doing these neck practices, you will distinctly see that you are much more alert and the lethargy in the body will be obliterated. There is a higher level of neuronal regeneration. Memory and intellectual sharpness also improves.
Here are a few guidelines that will set optimal conditions and greatly enhance your receptivity of the practices. Please ensure cell phones are either in silent mode or switched off. It is advisable not to sit for the program with a full stomach or immediately after a meal. Please sit with your spine comfortably erect, hands uncrossed, and palms open. These conditions will prepare you to be in a heightened state of receptivity and derive the most benefits from the practices. These practices are very safe and simple and can be done by anybody. The practices we will be learning here can be done by anyone ages 7 years and above. If you wear glasses while doing the yoga practices, please remove them and keep them aside. Now we will do a certain set of practices for the neck. This will help you to relax the stiffened muscles in the neck and shoulder region. We will look at the first 3 neck practices now. Please observe. Stand with your feet comfortably apart and parallel to each other. Keep your arms and shoulders loose and relaxed. Make sure your neck is loose like a rope. No stiffness of any sort. Eyes closed. As you exhale, slowly and gently lower your chin to your chest. This is the starting position. Now, as you inhale, gently bring your head up and take it back. As you exhale, bring your head down to your chest. This is 1 cycle. You would do this 3 times. Now we will see the second neck practice. As you inhale, slowly and gently turn your head to the right to the extreme point. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. Now, as you inhale, slowly and gently turn your head to the left to the extreme point that you can turn. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. This is 1 cycle. You would do this 3 times. And now we will see the third neck practice. As you exhale, slowly and gently bring your right ear towards your right shoulder to the extreme point you can go. As you inhale, bring it up. As you exhale, slowly and gently bring your left ear towards your left shoulder to the extreme point you can go. As you inhale, bring it up. This is 1 cycle. You will do this 3 times. Now we will do 3 cycles of the first 3 neck practices together. Please stand. Stand with your feet comfortably apart and parallel to each other. Keep your arms and shoulders loose and relaxed. Eyes closed. As you exhale, slowly and gently lower your chin to your chest. This is the starting position. Now, as you inhale, gently bring your head up and take it back. As you exhale, bring your head down to your chest. Second cycle. As you inhale, bring your head up and back. As you exhale, bring it down. Third cycle. Ensure your shoulders are relaxed. No stiffness of any sort. Now for the second neck practice. Come to the starting position. Your head should be straight, eyes closed. As you inhale, slowly and gently turn your head to the right. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. Now as you inhale, slowly and gently turn your head to the left. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. Second cycle, right side. Left side. Third cycle. Do it slowly. You can even hold the stretch for a moment and then come back. Come back to the starting position. Now we will do the third neck practice. Again, your head is straight, eyes closed. As you exhale, slowly and gently bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. As you inhale, bring it up. As you exhale, slowly and gently bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. As you inhale, bring it back up. Second cycle. As you exhale, slowly and gently bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. As you inhale, bring it up. As you exhale, slowly and gently bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. As you inhale, bring it back up. Third cycle. It is an exhalation as you lower the head. It is an inhalation as you bring it up. When you are finished, please sit comfortably. Now we will learn the fourth and fifth neck practices. Please observe. Again, feet are comfortably apart and parallel to each other. Eyes closed. As you exhale, lower your chin to your chest. This is the starting position. As you inhale, slowly and gently rotate your head towards your right shoulder. As you inhale, your head goes back. As you exhale, it comes down again. Then switch and rotate in the opposite direction. This is one cycle. You will do this 3 times. And for the fifth and final neck practice, rotate your shoulders forward. As you inhale, go up. As you exhale, come down. Do this 3 times. Now rotate your shoulders backward. As you inhale, go up. As you exhale, come down. Do this 3 times. Now we will do the fourth and fifth neck practices together. Please stand. Check to see if your feet are parallel to each other. Eyes closed. As you exhale, lower your chin to your chest. This is the starting position. As you inhale, slowly and gently rotate your head towards your right shoulder. As you inhale, your head goes back. As you exhale, it comes down again. Do a full rotation, then switch and rotate in the opposite direction. We will do 2 more cycles. Second cycle, rotate towards the right shoulder. Ensure your upper body remains still as you rotate the head. Switch directions and rotate towards your left shoulder. Third cycle, do it slowly with the breathing. And now we will do the fifth neck practice together. Your head is straight, upper body relaxed, eyes closed. Now rotate your shoulders forward. As you inhale, go up. As you exhale, come down. Do this 3 times. Now rotate your shoulders backward. As you inhale, go up. As you exhale, come down. Do this 3 times. When you're finished, please sit comfortably.
So, hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, please look at the screen. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed doing all these simple set of practices. And how did you enjoy it?
Very good. Very warm up.
Oh, nice. So, for your first time, you all have done really well, and the more you keep practicing it, you can do it better. And you can follow this, find these instructions on the ishasadguru.org or Sadhguru's app. And every day you can do these practices on your own, looking at the videos, or to give you handouts of how we did this program, and you can just follow the instructions and keep doing these practices. And so we also have feedbacks for you, forms which will give after all the sessions, and you can fill in those. And volunteers all across the world have been offering these sessions at schools, communities, and colleges. So if you are interested to know more about any of our upcoming programs, or if you want us to offer these free sessions at your place, please reach out to us after the meeting. And I thank the organizers, Indo USA, for conducting this wonderful event on Vacation Celebration Yoga Day, and thank you for having us here.
Hi everyone. Hello. So my name is Michelle. I'm a graduate student here. I've been involved with Skype Purdue for 5 years, and really enjoyed. I love doing the different practices for yoga. It's really nice. And yeah, I love that this session, this program, we're getting to do all these different components of yoga. Really, really cool. We do offer half hour to hour, any amount doesn't matter, but sessions on campus where we do a little bit of structure from yoga and also breathing exercises and meditation. So, and also some of the knowledge, the wisdom, some perspectives about how our mind works that can really help us to live in the present moment. So we'll do a little bit of that today, and but I'd like, if we can even, some of you guys, maybe if you guys can just move on this side, like just maybe you four, then it'll be a little bit more of a circle, so just so that when we do the practices, I can kind of see it, and we'll just do a little more nice. If you guys have been to any of our sessions, you'll notice we always do a circle. Cool. Okay. Cool. Cool. So how are you guys doing this Friday? Good end of the week, and what is Fridays are always good? Yeah. Yeah. How has it been going so far? Good. Hitting over. Yeah, it is, right? Cool. So yeah, we did a little bit of a warm up, and so now we'll do. Let's see. I wanted to share a little bit about the mind. So do you notice how when we were going through the day, the beginning was so beautiful, going through the different levels of yoga, and really, what is the whole point of yoga? Is to be able to be united in that present moment and connected with ourselves, connected with others, connected with our spirit, mind, body, spirit. And so would you notice how even in the session, right? We're here for such a lovely occasion, but you notice how sometimes like our mind wanders. We're like already thinking like, what am I gonna have for dinner? Right? Or we're thinking like, I'm so glad I'm here now, but man, that was kind of a difficult work day. And then your mind goes to that. You're like thinking about the work day, and you're like, oh crap, okay, here now. And then you're like, oh, what's gonna happen tonight? Oh, okay. You notice it goes everywhere sometimes throughout the day. Yeah. And just the nature of the mind that does that. But there are different ways we can bring it back. Tools. And you notice how when we go towards the past, when we're thinking about the past, different emotions come. Maybe it could be anything. What comes up when we think about the past? Sometimes we good things or not so. Sometimes the different sadness or nostalgia comes. Sometimes we're like, oh, those good times. Like I loved when I was a kid and I could just run around and do whatever I want. Right? And then in the future, same thing. The different emotions come, whether it's excitement or some anxiety, some uncertainty. So again, how do we live in that present moment more often, be united more often? What's something that's with us all the time that links us to the present moment? Breathing, our breath, this beautiful tool that we have in every moment to link us back to the breath. So what we'll do is even just noticing that, okay, let me become aware of my breath. And take a few deep breaths, and just even being aware of it. Otherwise, sometimes we're not aware of it until we have to like run and catch our child or our dog or the bus. And I know, like sometimes when they tell you take a deep breath when you're frustrated, it's like, oh, why are you telling me that? Yeah, but if we can notice our breath, it can bring us back. It naturally brings us back to the moment. So we'll do one breathing exercise. This one is fun. I like doing this one in the morning. Sanskrit is called Bastri breath, Bella's breath. Sometimes we call it coffee breath, but it won't make your breath smell or anything. So for this one, what you can do, if this is a comfortable position for you, you can sit like this. If it's not, No worries, you can sit cross-legged or in a chair, whatever's most comfortable for you. And if you do sit in the lesson, you can always come out of it if at any point it's uncomfortable. The most important is to be comfortable. And you can have your spine straight, whether you're sitting in a chair and back towards the front. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll have our hands close to the sides of our body. You can see they're kind of almost, yeah, hugging sides of our body. And you'll notice we have loose fists bringing out. Yeah. And for this one, what we'll do, actually I'll dedicate one, or we can do it together and then we'll do it a few rounds together. So we'll take a transition breath. We'll breathe in and breathe out. And then we'll breathe in again forcefully through the nose and lift our hands up. You'll notice the palms are open. Good. Straight up. Good. And then we'll breathe out forcefully and the arms will drop. Good. We'll breathe in forcefully going up. Then we'll breathe out and drop. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop. Good. Breathe in. And breathe out. You can close the eyes and we'll continue. Breathe in. And breathe out. Staying together. Breathe in. And breathe out. 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 One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. And relax. You can have your hands resting on your knees, facing the ceiling. And keeping your eyes closed. Notice what's happening inside. Some sensations, or tingling, any thoughts. And let them be. Notice what's happening inside. And keeping the eyes closed, let's take a regular breath in. And breathe out. We'll do a second round together. Keep the eyes closed throughout. And let's again have our hands by the sides of the body, close to our ribcage, with loose fists. If you need to peek for a moment, open the eyes you can, and then close them again. Let's take a regular transition breath in, and then breathe out. And breathing in, the arms will come up. Breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in, and out. Breathe in, and breathe out. And continue. Breathe in, breathe out. Staying together. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, and out. Up, and down. Breathe in, breathe out, and continue. Keep going. Forceful breath through the nose. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Complete this round and relax. Again, the eyes closed. Notice what's happening inside. Any sensations? And breathe out. Do a short final round. So again, let's have our hands close to our body, loose fit. Giving our attention fully to the breath. Let's take a transition breath in. And breathe out. Once more, let's breathe in and our arms will come up. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Up and down and continue. Arms coming straight up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. And relax. Let your arms, your hands rest on the knees facing the sky. Eyes still closed, attention inward. Keeping your eyes closed, if you're sitting in the Drafting Standard pose, you can sit comfortably. You can move back across legged if you wish. And keeping the eyes closed. Attention inward. Let's take one transition breath in and let go. And when you're ready, taking your own time, you can open the eyes. How do you feel now?
It had an energizing effect. Also it was hard to get distracted.
Hard to get
It was hard
distracted.
to get distracted to think of outside things.
There's different thoughts came to me. Yeah. Cool. So this is now your, to me, your new coffee. Or you can have two types of coffee if you know. But yeah, use this one. 3 rounds and resting in between. You can do how much you choose. You could, if you wanted to, you could do 8 to 10, or you could work up to 15 to 20 per set. English. And if you feel any sort of lightheaded a little bit, just that, get us up. Normally we're not using much of our lung capacity. This is a way to flush out all that still air that ends up just sitting in our lungs. So you can also make sure you drink some water, have some food, and that'll help. That can help too. So that's one breathing exercise. That energy for that. You notice your mind is feel more clear that without having so much effort there. And another technique is meditation. Again, that's another time where you don't have to put any effort. You can just sit and be. So we'll do a short guided meditation. And for this one, again, if there's different thoughts that come, good feelings, just let them be. Don't have to try or do anything. And there's actually these 3 golden rules for meditation. So I'll share them. You can go ahead and sit comfortably. If again, if you need back support, feel free to take it. Have your legs crossed, and you can have your hands facing up or facing up in your lap. Yeah. And let's go ahead and we'll close the eyes. Now take a regular breath in and breathe out. And those 3 golden rules that I mentioned, things to keep in mind. Again, meditation at a time, you don't have to do anything. So just for these moments, you can remember, I want nothing, I am doing nothing. I am nothing. Just for these moments, and then to be whatever you wish. And then take a regular breath in and breathe out. And become aware of this environment. The sounds of the projector, air conditioning, traffic, accept all the sounds in this environment. You are in harmony with this environment completely. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Become aware of your body. Your body is a precious gift, given with love. Honor and respect your body. Become aware of your feet, your knees, thighs and hips, abdomen, stomach, chest, palms and shoulders, neck, face, head, and the whole body. The whole body. Deep breath in and let go. Become aware of your thoughts. Whether good thoughts or bad thoughts, let them come. Do not resist any thoughts. Deep breath in and let go. Become aware of your feelings. Whether pleasant or unpleasant. Let the feelings be. You are peace. any sensation in the body. Become aware of this environment. The ground is a protector. Long breath. Regular breath in. And breathe out. Mindful breathing. And let go. Gradually keeping the eyes closed, you can open the fingers and the toes if you wish. Gently lifting up the body. And taking your own time. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Holding of the
And yeah, you can breathe out and then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Good. How do you feel now? I'm feeling quiet up here.
very still calm.
Kind of feels. In some of our sessions, even our 30-minute sessions, we have these different components, the structures, the yoga, and then the breathing exercises, the wisdom, the perspectives of the mind, and then meditation. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to talk to me at the end. And remember your copy.
So please give me a few minutes to just set up. I just need to put up a few slides on. Until then, please feel free to rearrange yourself to face me. Hello. What's going on? Only 5 minutes. Okay, can you sit up? Yeah, yeah. Speak. Yeah, please. Namaskar. I'm Dilip Sen. I'm yoga teacher in India under Patanjali. I will take only 5 minutes. Let us do Omkar all together. You will join. Om sound will start from here. It will go upwards. Om.
2005, I'm in Patanjali. 21st June is very important day for us because government of India has proposed International Yoga Day in October 2014, and from 21st June 2015, more than 200 countries all over the world are following yoga, doing yoga on this day, and in other days also. And common yoga protocol was prepared by India. I will discuss a few points for good health. Number one, early go to bed and early rise makes a man healthy and wise. You can record only a few points. 1 hour sleep before 12 is equal to 2 hours sleep after 12. In the morning, we can drink 1 liter of warm water before brushing our teeth. The saliva deposited on the tongue is good for our stomach. Sun gazing, Surya Namaskar. There are exercises for Surya Namaskar. Besides this, if we stare at the red sun in the morning for 5 seconds, we can feel some positive energy. Exercise. We must burn our calorie. In the morning, we should do some exercises daily. Warm-up exercise, and then few asanas, and then few pranayams. Our resistance power will increase. Food habits. We must not skip breakfast. We should take heavy breakfast in the morning, including fruits and salads. Water is to be consumed half an hour before or after meal. Dinner should be before 9 p.m. and in less quantity. Fasting. If we do fasting once a week for 24 hours, this is called water fasting. We drink only water. Suppose today at 12, I took my lunch, and tomorrow at 12, I will again take lunch. In between, I will drink water or warm water. This is good for health. These are new topics I'm learning. And I have attended in Haridwar advanced yoga programs. So, breathing. We always breathe. We breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. Holding of breath. Purak, umbhak, rechak. Umbhak means holding. What is the benefit? When we do deep breathing, then we inhale much more air and our lungs expands. The rib is outside the lungs. Excess air will go to the heart. The heart will supply oxygenated blood to our whole body. All our cells will get food, the oxygen. In every exercises, also, we can do inhale, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Suppose neck exercise. Don't mind. Breathe in, hold your breath for 10 seconds to 30 seconds, up to your limit. Breathe out. Opposite, breathe in, breathe out. If you hold your breath, you can see the difference. For headache, sinus, migraine, we do Bhramri. You can join me. Sound like a bee. Vibration will be there on the head. It is good for brain also. Once more. you very much. I wish you all good health and happiness. Smile always. Love everyone. Thank you.
So, do we have enough time?
Yeah.
20 minutes. So, hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Vivek. I'm a student at Purdue University, and I'm here on behalf of Sahaj Meditation Association, which is Sahaja Yoga is what it is called. But since we want to avoid the confusion between physical exercises and meditation, we just call it Sahaj Meditation here. So today what we'll be doing is just explore certain basic ideas of what Sahaj meditation is about and actually go ahead with the exercise itself. So the word, unfortunately, I could not. I think there is some problem with the computer. I could not get the pictures that I have on here. So I've gone to this website, freemeditation.com, which is a really good website for beginners such as yourself. If you ever want to explore what Sahaj Yoga or Sahaj meditation is about. So the word Sahaj, all of you are probably familiar with what the word Sahaj means. It means something that is very simple, right? Very easy. So Saha in Sanskrit means with, and Ja means born. So born with you is a system or a setup that helps yoga itself to take place, the union. I don't need to tell you anything more about yoga since you're all already so knowledgeable about it. Um, Now, what we have, you can say that within ourselves lies a certain system of energy centers that are centered on the plexuses that are present in our spinal cord. So, starting from the lowermost point, you probably all already know that these are called chakras, so I don't need to elaborate more on that. But from the lowest point, which is the pelvic plexus, right up to the limbic area inside our brain, which is responsible for all the emotion and the pleasures that we feel, the joy we feel. Our whole consciousness, so to say, the software of our hardware, that is this body, has a certain mechanism in it which helps us to go back to that state of silence from which we all have come. It's a fairly ancient idea in Indian, various methods of Indian as well as other Eastern philosophies that we all have come from nothingness, right? And upon that nothingness is this illusion of something, which is place. And this something is the one that gives us all the possible troubles that can be given in this world, right? Because if the human body is that actually interact and the mind that interacts, but the spirit, which we really are, which is our real identity, is beyond all this and is in complete peace. So our real identity is peace itself. Unfortunately, we all have somehow or the other forgotten this, like little children who have gone away from home and have forgotten the way back, and now they are lost in this field of a forest. You can say forest of illusion, where so many monsters lurk these days in the form of stress or depression or anxiety and all this. So we have so many methods now in front of us, as you already saw that we have breathing techniques, we have physical exercises, so many methods for us to be able to feel that peace once again, that which is our natural state, to come back home, so to say. So what Sahaj meditation is about is to just sort of activate this natural setup within ourselves, within our own consciousness, that is built up to give us back that peace which exists within us. Um, so we all have these energy centers within us, which are nothing but different domains of our consciousness. So, for example, the center here, the solar plexus, as it is called in medical terminology, in Sanskrit literature, it is called as Manipura Chakra. Here is where you feel your the hunger for either material satisfaction or all forms of satisfaction that we have. But most importantly, it is also a center for our spiritual sustenance, our spiritual satisfaction. One reason why all of you are here, some way or the other, something about yoga, something about spirituality has attracted you to come here, whether it is for your good health, whether it is for finding some meaning in life, any sort of meaning, any sort of sustenance that you want, which you feel you are missing unconsciously. is governed by that center. So likewise, we have a whole set of functions for each one. We don't have the time to get into all of that. What we are going to do today is to allow a certain energy that is placed between the lowermost and the second center in our sacrum bone. So if you know a little bit of human anatomy, the lowermost bone on the spine, there is a big triangular bone which is called as sacrum, named so because the Greeks thought it was a sacred bone. The reason they thought it was sacred was because when they cremated their dead, this bone has such a high density of calcium in it that it was the last one to burn off. So they said that this must be something sacred. But in reality, you can say that the software that has programmed us has placed a motherly feminine energy in that area of our body, in the sacrum bone, which is known as Kundalini. Now, unfortunately, over the years, a lot of wrong information about Kundalini Yoga has come out in popular literature. Mainly yogis who have tried techniques which should not have been done have had unfortunate experiences with it. But actually, if you see, she is nothing but a motherly force, a motherly energy within us, which has to rise up to the top over here, out of this Sahasrara chakra, out of the last center over here. And once that is done, what we have within us, then you can say our brain, by reacting to life, by developing our ego, by developing our conditionings, by developing so many different concepts we think that is true about this world. What we have created is sort of an egg sort of structure that is closed. And what this Kundalini energy has to do is nothing but open that egg out. And you can see that even in Christian symbolism, when they offer an egg for Easter, symbolizing that you are still an egg which has to break, which has to come out. So that is what we are going to do. And once you have this Kundalini energy moving up, what you feel within yourself, the first sign that comes is that you feel thoughtless from within. Now, this is not a thoughtless, an effort-led thoughtlessness, rather it is your own natural state of being, which you feel within yourself. The second stage is that you start feeling a cool breeze on your fingers and out of your head. Now, this cool breeze is nothing but indicative of the spirit itself, of the Atma itself. If you see across the world in so many systems, they have always equated spirit or God with breath. In fact, the Latin word spiritus itself means breath. In Taoist